Whoop, and we're going live. Hello, this is my kitty Ray. She's totally confused right now, and she got some airtime. Okay, so if you don't already have a piece of paper and something to draw with, color with, whatever that may be, you are going to need that. So get a blank piece of paper. We're going to put it lengthwise or tall wise, I don't know, this way, up and down. We're going to do that, and we are going to draw someone that has become very popular in the last few months. It is not their actual name, but it's the way everyone knows them as, and this will be Baby Yoda. So, what we are going to do today is we are going to freehand Baby Yoda. We are not tracing, we're not doing anything like that. We are simply just doing all the drawing. And now I got cat hair everywhere. My goodness. Okay. So bear with me. I will I'm doing this off of a tutorial. So I'm no artist. If it doesn't turn out great, who cares? You know, there's happy accidents when we do art projects, and this is our first time doing it. So I'm going to be switching back and forth from the live stream to my video that I'm watching as I do this. So if you notice a little pause here and there, that's what this is for. But right now we are going to get started. So I recommend starting with, if you have like a black marker or something, I recommend you start with the black marker, just because that's going to be the outline, and then we will do the colors and stuff like that later. So the very first thing you need to do is you need to draw a very wide angled V. So we're simply just going to go like this and like that, okay? So we're going to start with that V. So I'll give everyone a minute to do that. And then our next step is we are going to draw basically a giant horseshoe, a giant U, and this is going to basically be Baby Yoda's head. So we're going to bring it up, and boom. And doesn't that look like Baby Yoda already? No, it doesn't. It looks like an angle from a math problem. Okay, so once you draw that U, we're going to move forward, and we are going to draw Baby Yoda's eyes. Now, we're going to draw the eyes in these general areas, but we're just going to draw two, actually, like really, not really big, but decently sized circles here. And I didn't do it on the first one, but really try to get it to actually touch right there, because that is key. It'll definitely make it look like he's huddled into his little robe there a whole lot more if they're touching. Your next step is we are going to actually draw another circle on the inside. These aren't the pupils. These aren't going to be like where the baby is looking. It adds like a shine to its eye, just to kind of add some depth. So after you draw those circles, we're going to go ahead and color this in. Now, I know I just said we aren't going to be coloring in yet. This part, because it is black, this is going to be the only part we color in. So let's just take some time. I want to make sure I'm nice and neat and in these lines. I don't want to do anything too much. I don't want to kind of mess it up. Again, you can't, in my opinion, you can't really mess up an art project unless you're going for a very specific goal. But honestly, every accident's a happy accident, in the words of Bob Ross. I don't know if he said that exact quote, but I know he said something similar to it. Because when you're dealing with art, you just have to go with the flow. To tell you a little story, when I was at summer camp, I was making a poster, and it was for my camp group, and we didn't have to, but we decided that we were going to do, like, we had a really big cabin. We had, I think, 20 kids in it, and there was 4 different bedrooms with 5 kids in it. So we made each bedroom like its own color, and we made it like a like glow stick theme. And I had red team, and I was making a poster, but I really messed it up, and or at least I thought I did. So I took some splatter paint and I threw it all over the place, and it turned out really cool. Now, hold on. Let me move on to the next step here. Okay, so our next step, we have our eyes, we have the top of our head, and we have the starting of our robe. Next, we are going to draw his nose. Now, his nose is gonna kind of make it look like a smiley face. So you're just gonna bring in just a tiny little U shape. Make it look like a little pea sticking its head out of a pod and smiling, okay? However, that smiley face is gonna go right away, and we're gonna make it look like, oh my goodness, what's going on? An O face, okay? Again, that's his nose. It's not actually a face, but that's just what it looks like right now. So for our next step, we are going to draw the ears. So we are going to kind of start not directly on top because his ears aren't there, but the upper right side. And we're going to draw like a straight kind of curving line right there. Okay, you see that? And then we are going to actually bring it down. Let me make sure I do this right, or do this the best I possibly can. Okay, so I am in fact going to connect this extra line right here and boom, do that right there. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. So on this left side, I'm going to make a straight but kind of curvy, pointy line. I made that one. His ears, he's going to have a little lopsided head. And you know what? That's totally fine. And then we're going to bring in this line right here. Okay, so we've got his eyes, we've got the start of his ears, his nose, and his head. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to come up to this corner of his ear. We're going to add some depth to the ear because he doesn't have these flat triangle ears. They're not, nachos, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to start at the point, and we're going to start really close, but we're going to gradually fade out. So you see how I kind of split it in half almost? Not quite half. I want it to be closer to the top, but you're going to gradually fade out. And then you're going to come around, and you're going to do the same thing on this side, okay? So this would be like the top back side of his ear, and this would be like inside of his ears. Looking pretty good so far, if I do say so myself. Now, what is next? Oh my goodness, how could I forget? Okay, our next step is we're simply going to give Baby Yoda some Baby Yoda hair. Okay, just some little furries right there, just something to top him off because, he may look like a baby, but he is 50 years old, so we gotta remember that. The next step is we're going to actually add a little bit of depth to his robe. So we're going to come out not quite directly at where his head and his ear meets. It's actually going to be a little bit past his ear. And then we're going to draw these kind of like diagonal lines just a little bit down. Just a little bit. And it's really just a little bit past the head. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. And now we are going to kind of close off the top of his robe, but we're not going to just draw a line. So don't do that. Hold on. Wait for what we're going to do right here. Now, again, I did draw my V a little deep, so I'm actually going to bring these lines a little bit further. I wish I hadn't done that, but you know what? Happy accidents. Now he looks like he has more of a V-neck. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to bring this line, and we're going to bring it all the way down here, and then we're going to curve it up like that. Then we're going to bring this line, and we're going to bring it in and not quite touch the bottom. We want it to look, there's a little bit of depth there, okay? So you see how it kind of looks folded over? That's the look we're going for. Next up, we need to start kind of adding some of his arms. He's a person, he has arms. He has 3 fingers, but he has 2 arms. So we're going to bring down what looks like almost kind of like a little shoulder. We're just going to right here off the side and bring it down. But don't bring it down too far because we only got so much to work with, remember. And just like that, boop, it is coming along. By the way, I've never drawn this before, so this is totally new to me, and I think it's turning out pretty good. What's next? Sorry, I'm just skipping through this little tutorial here. Just one moment. Okay. So we have his little arm. However, we need to actually give him some arm. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring this in, not all the way, and then we're going to just do a little whoop like that, okay? Same thing over here. We're going to bring this in and give him a little whoop again. Okay, those are for his cute little arms. And now we're going to work on his sleeves. So what you're going to do is you're going to stop just a little bit over the top here, and then you're going to bring this down, and then you're going to bring it down and around, and then up and over. So you see how we left a little bit? So it adds some depth to our picture. It looks like it's actually his sleeves are rolled up, and that's the look we are looking for. I might have done this one just a little bit too far. Did I recover? Looks like I did. Looks beautiful. Look at that. We are moving on. And again, this video will go up again. So if I'm moving kind of fast, it's, just be aware that I'm going to be posting the video on our Google Classroom. And it will also be on my YouTube page forever. So if you want to go back and look at it again or pause the video later or whatever it is, want to draw it again, that will be an option. So let's see. Our next steps are to draw his tiny little hands. Now, Baby Yoda has 3 fingers. We're only going to draw 2 of them, but you'll understand in just a second. So he has like these little claw type things. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw this little baby, like kind of little claw thing. And you almost want to make it look like, the way I think of this is like a little potato wedge, if you're like eating and you got those French fries that are thicker, that's what it makes me think of, is the big potato wedges. Okay, so we're going to draw 1 potato wedge on the left, and we're going to draw 1 potato wedge on the right. And yeah, he's, well, on the right side, his left hand, what would be his left hand, is a little bit smaller, and that's okay. Now, next part is we're going to draw his little thumb. Boop. Boop. Look at that. Now he's got little like lobster claws. However, we're not totally done. We have a little bit more to do, so let me figure out what the next step is, because we need to get that little claw in there. Okay, so to get his little claw, he has really long fingernails. And what we're going to do is we're just going to add a little boop and a little boop. And just like that, you've got Baby Yoda hands. Okay. Our next step is kind of doing the rest of his robe. So he does wear a robe, so he doesn't really show his feet. He probably just has little 3-clawed feet too, but we don't really see those. So we're just going to draw the rest of the robe. So we're going to go right here, right in where his thumb is. And we're just going to draw a squiggly. Just like that. And he got a little skinny because of the way I drew it, but you know what? That's totally fine. It's not the end of the world. But after we draw our squigglies, let me make sure you can see it, just because I am looking at another tutorial as well. There we go. Okay. So far, so good. Now we just got to finish it off and kind of round off the bottom here. And let me see what's next. I actually don't know. What are they doing in this video? Oh, in this video they went and they added just like a little, some wrinkles where it just looks like his clothing might be a little wrinkled up or something, because he is wearing a very big robe. Adds a little bit of detail. And just like that, you do in fact have a fully drawn Baby Yoda. So now that's that. What's going to happen now is it's going to, or not it, I'm going to simply color it in. You are more than welcome to hang around and join me, or do whatever you want. I'm going to color this in though, and I'm going to use actually some colored pencils instead of markers. So let me find my colored pencils here. I'm going to start with a simple Yoda green and get him the color he needs to be. It's always nice to stay in those lines. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope it looks somewhat like Baby Yoda. It may not be the best one or the most representative, but I think it's pretty cool, especially for someone like me who is definitely not an artist. This was pretty awesome. You know, I'm happy to be able to share this with you. I'm happy to be able to actually get some art in, because I feel like we weren't able to get enough art in during school, because I felt like we were always, you know, it's like, oh, we have to finish this test, or we don't have time, we have to go to the library, we've got this assembly today. There was always some reason to not do art and music and things like that. At least you got music with Miss Weisman. But yeah, we never really got to do things like this. So I am happy to be able to finally do it. Here, let's color in those hands too, in true Baby Yoda fashion. And yeah, I'm over here looking at the chat right now. Looks like someone's got horns. Someone says it looks like a chicken minion. Hey, you know what? Whatever it turns out like, that's totally fine. You know what? I don't like the nose. Well, is that I don't know. I don't know what color to color the nose. I guess I'll just skip the nose for right now. I'm going to add some brown right here. Do I have a lighter brown? I do have a lighter brown. I'm going to use dark brown for his sleeves, and I'm going to use light brown for the rest of the robe. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little post up on our Google Classroom too, so everyone can share their Baby Yoda drawing and see how it turned out. I think that's pretty awesome. Or that would be pretty awesome. We can kind of leave positive comments for each other and, you know, show off our true artwork. You know, I'm going to do Baby Yoda, even though he has these long nails. They're pretty nasty looking. I'm going to make him yellow. And where's my light brown? I know I just saw it. There it is. Just add a little bit different color in there to the brown and color all this in. It's nice because the spot where I have this set up at to do these live streams, it's kind of adding some texture to my drawing just because of the way the surface is, which is pretty cool. So it's always important to choose your surfaces. This was unintentional, but you know, if you want a smoother picture, you want to do it on a smooth surface. If you want a rougher, you know, background or something, rougher surface will definitely help you with that. So you don't have to just do it yourself. Again, I am by no means an actual art teacher. I am a teacher, obviously, but do I have qualifications in art? No. Are these suggestions that you should take? Maybe. I don't know. I'm just drawing a picture. I'm doing it for fun. I'm doing it to show off not my skills, but maybe what your skills might be. Maybe your Baby Yoda turned out super awesome, or you added something special to yours, or gave him a hat or something like that. I don't know. You do what you want. This is just me guiding you through how to do it. I just realized I forgot to color in his ears too, so I have to go back and do that with that green. There we go. Where did the green go? I found it. Only going to do the top part green because the other part's inside his ears, and I want to do that like a pinkish color. Okay, we'll do red and we'll just make it light. Right on, Rosie. You go teach your brother. There we go. Get a little bit of pink. Well, this is red, but I'm doing it lightly so it's pinker. And here, let's just give him a pink little nose. I know he doesn't have one, but there you go. Colored it in, and there it is. There you have a Baby Yoda. Okay, so that's it for me today. It's 11:20. I'm going to post that up in Google Classroom so you can assign it. If you're not done, you can always go back and rewatch the video. It will be on the page. It will be in Google Classroom. And you can pause the video wherever you need to. So don't worry. It's not the end of the world. But this is my beautiful Baby Yoda photo. Not photo, picture, drawing. Whatever it is there. Have a great day and see you tomorrow.